What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and we have some more new support to talk about, and one of which are Gizmeks. So Gizmeks are getting support. That is pretty cool. They are a deck I don't know much about. I knew when I read the title of this saying Gizmek and Sushi, I was like, Gizmeks sound familiar. And so I went and double checked, and they are an archetype. So they're getting support. That's pretty cool. So, what does it do? Well, Gizmek Inaba is a wind machine effect monster. Level 1, 50 attack and 50 defense. What? Huh. Okay. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one machine monster from your hand whose attack is equal to its own defense in defense position. You can banish this card from your graveyard, and then target one machine monster you control whose attack equals its own defense for the rest of the turn. You cannot declare attacks except for with that monster. Also, its attack and defense become a total of the original attack of all machine monsters you currently control, whose attack and defense equal their own. So this card is a way to push for OTK and summons another card from the hand to go into some link plays, since I know that Gizmeks kind of have levels all over the place. To go into some link plays, so you can go into some link plays with this and all of that. That's pretty good. It's also a 1-for-1 target, but that matters a lot less since this card wants to be normal summoned to get its effect. However, it is a good Foolish Burial target, and that's something to keep in mind, as if you can swarm the field, you can probably OTK with this deck. So next up is Gizmek Naganaki, which is a light machine effect monster, 950 attack, 950 defense, level 2. Hard once per turn effects on both of its things. You can target one machine monster whose attack equals its own defense. Special summon one machine monster from your deck whose attack equals its own defense, but with a lower level than the attributed monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one of your face down banished machine monsters whose attack equals its own defense. So this has a lot of synergy with Pod Desires. So you can Pod Desires, draw your 2 cards, and then if this is in your graveyard, banish, get one of your machine monsters back. That's pretty good. Its first effect is also pretty good. It's just a little bit more situational, as it contributes itself, but it's only going to tribute and summon the level 1, because I believe the other Gizmeks are a bit higher level, but I don't remember off the top of my head since I barely just glanced over to see that I wasn't crazy, and this is a support for the archetype and not a new archetype in general. So next up, Gizmek Tanaguku, Earth Machine effect, level 3, 1450 attack, 1450 defense. Its first and second are hard ones per turn. If this is normal or special summon, you can place one machine monster from your deck whose attack and defense equals its own on top of your deck. Okay. You can manage this card and target one machine monster in your graveyard whose attack equals its own defense and special summon it in defense position. So this is kind of like a play extender and all that, so that's pretty cool. Once you, for example, just off the ones we've read so far, normal summon the level 1, summon this, place one of your machines that you want on top, then you link summon to something, and then you can banish this from the graveyard, summon the other card back, and keep going into plays like that. That's an option, and that's really cool. So I like this card, and I think this card is great for the deck. You can see where the combo lines are, and yeah. Next up, Gizmek Ibuki, Water Machine effect, level 4, 1850 attack, 1850 defense. First and second are hard ones per turn. If you control a machine monster whose attack equals its own defense, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one machine monster you control whose attack equals its own defense, and one machine monster whose attack equals its own defense, but with a lower level, from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, that target gains attack equal to the sent monster's level times 100. Okay. The first effect is the more relevant. The second effect is probably just going to be used to like help push for OTK, like the level 1 was. Unfortunately, you're going to have like, I mean, there are higher levels and everything from the older and all that, so still good and all that to facilitate and help you OTK that way. But overall, I think that the first effect of special summoning from your hand, because you control a machine monster, which is probably going to be a Gizmek, is a lot more relevant. So yeah. Next up is their field spell, Gizmek Legend. I'm not pronouncing the rest of that. Its first effect is a hard once per turn. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, add one of the excavated machine monster whose attack equals its own defense, and banish the rest face down. So this also helps with the level 2 graveyard effect in getting your face down banished monsters. So that's pretty cool. So I think that's what they were going for with that, is to have it synergize with that, but it just so happens it also synergizes with one of the best draw spells we have in the current game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, known as Pod Desires. Second effect is, each time a monster, or machine monsters, whose attack equals its own defense is normal or special summon, you can place 1 counter on this card. Monsters on the field whose attack do not equal their own defense cannot activate their effects while this card has 10 or more counters. So, I think that summoning monsters is pretty easy, right? Summoning out your monsters, because the deck kind of seems like it has okay-ish swarm potential to get this up in counters. However, I don't think that you're gonna be playing this for the second and third effect. I think that's gonna be something that when you use this card, it's just for the first effect of getting one and banishing the rest that you don't really care about. And then the other ones are just kind of, if it happens, it happens. That's the way I see this card. You play it because it gets you advantage. Even though most field spells nowadays, to be any good, have to get you something immediately once they're activated, instead of you having to activate it again and risk your opponent like Ghost Ogreing it, I guess. But I don't know if anyone really plays Ghost Ogre as much as they used to. Next up, Sushi. It's a fire aqua. Okay, this with 2000 attack, that's pretty cool. Suship. Oh my gosh, there's a whole Sushi archetype, isn't there? Fire Sushi effect. You can only special summon this card's first effect. Once per turn, you can only use this card's second effect. So the first one is special summon that way once. So if you control a Suship, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's cool. During your main phase, you excavate the top 3 cards of your deck of your deck, and if you do, you can add to your hand or special summon one of the excavated Suships and shuffle them rest back into the deck. Okay, that's actually a pretty good effect. And normal monsters are okay. We have plenty of support to help get all of that. The first effect is the main bread and butter again. You're special summoning it to go into a rank 4, and hopefully we get a good rank 4 in general, as there is one coming up. So the other effect is okay as well. You possibly get to get your Suship. thing is that this is it has 2 cards in the main deck. That's probably not going to be enough, is all I'm saying. You might have this as an engine, but I still don't know why you would. Maybe they have enough spell and trap card support to make it work. So next up is Dreadnought Suship, Rogue Class, First Wardish. Oh, that's a mouthful. Blah. So, 2 level 4 monsters, so it's generic. If this card is XC summon, you can apply the effects based on the monsters used as material. 1. So it's Rice Suship, you draw a card. If it's Rose Suship, it makes a second attack during each battle phase. Once per turn, when your Suship monsters special summon from the extra deck, inflicts battle damage to your opponent, target 1 card on the field and destroy. So, overall, not a bad card. It's not broken, and it's not really bringing home the bank to play these 2 okay. This card's okay. This card is just a vanilla. Vanillas, like I said, have enough support to make them work now. However, this card, as a payoff, doesn't really sell the bill for me. Next up, Suship in Gallery Kaisen. Once per turn, if you normal or special summon a Suship monster, even during the damage step, you can place 1 Suship card from your deck on top of your deck. Once per turn, if your Suship monsters special summon from the extra deck is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, your opponents must pay life points equal to its defense. Then, you special summon 1 Rice Suship from your hand, and if you do immediately after this after this effect results, XCs on using only that monster as material. Okay, so hopefully we get more Suships to because if we get more Suships, this is a lot better. And your opponent has to pay the life points too. So, granted, they don't have a lot of defense. This one has 0. This has 300. This has 300. So, your opponent's going to be paying 300, and that's not much at all. I would like it if they had, like, at least 1,000. Like, making your opponent pay 1,000 is still not that bad. Your opponent can you probably give up 1,000 life points and not really scoff at it, because as long as they're not dead, they don't care. Your opponent must pay it is kind of negligible. And as far as your XCs goes, there's only 1 that we know about at this current time, so that doesn't really jump off to me. But if we get more support in the future, that can be relevant. So, next up is a trap card, and it's the last, possibly least, who knows, we'll find out. When you activate this card, you can reveal 1 Rice Suship from in your hand, reveal 3 Suship monsters from your deck, your opponent picks 1, add it to your hand, shuffle the rest back. If you revealed a Rice Suship when you activated this card, you choose instead. Okay, so you don't have to activate it, but you can. Okay, or you don't have to reveal, but you can. Okay, so the idea of this card is you flip it, you reveal the Rice Suship, and then you get the Row Suship so that you can make the XD's monster. And yeah. If this card is in your graveyard, except during the turn it was sent there, banish this card, then target 3 Suship monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw a card. Okay. Issue with this card is that it's a trap card, right? Maybe because if you want to go first, you want to make these boards that it's hard for your opponent to really out, and even in a casual setting, 2200 attack. Like if you're playing like good old beat sticks and stuff like that, 2200 attack and versus a good old beat stick style deck isn't hard to get over. This card, the XDs that we know about, also doesn't have any protection, so keep that in mind as well. On the whole trap card, you have to play like super slow Yu-Gi-Oh to really make use of this, and competitively wise, this little engine of the Suships as far as we see it at this moment, there is no hope for them because this is too. Because the trap card is too slow. If this was a spell card that said this, things would be a lot different. They could be a cool engine, but I still don't think that they would be a meta deck or even a tier 2 deck. But they could be a fun like pickup deck. Be like, haha, I play with Sushi. Uh, but yeah, that's my thoughts on this deck. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up here. Tell me what you think of the Suships. Do you think that they're pretty funny and they're cool? Tell me what you think of the new Gizmek cards and the Gizmek support. And if you're excited to play the deck, that would be cool. You can leave a comment down below. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me any cool deck profiles or replays, emails in the description. I would love to see those. If you have any ideas for the casual duel series, you can leave it down in the comment section. I do read all the comments. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.